I simulated 50 seasons in F1 22 and this is what happened. So this video won't be like my normal simulation videos. We will be going over my first 50 simulations and we will give drivers points from 25 to 0 using the normal F1 scoring system. Looking at where they finish the season, so if a driver wins a season, he gets 25 points, P2 gets 18 and so on. We will see who got the most points and wins the most championships. I will be showing you the standings after every 10 seasons, so without wasting any time, let's get into it. So starting with season 1, there was a normal simulation where I made the worst possible team and didn't do any driver transfers to see what a 10 F1 team does over 10 seasons. Charles Leclerc won the championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and Lewis Hamilton in P3. Going to season 2, Max Verstappen won his first championship for the simulation with George Russell in P2 and Charles Leclerc in P3. Season 3, Max Verstappen won another championship with George Russell in P2 and Charles Leclerc in P3. Going to season 4, Max Verstappen won his third championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and George Russell in P3. In season 5, Charles Leclerc won his second championship with Lando Norris in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 6, Lando Norris won his first championship with George Russell in P2 and Charles Leclerc in P3. In season 7, we have Valteri Bottas winning a championship with Yuki Tsunoda in P2 and Lance Stroll in P3. Season 8, Lando Norris won his second championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Yuki Tsunoda in P3. Season 9, Charles Leclerc won his third championship with Lando Norris in P2 and Valtteri Bottas in P3. And now season 10, we had the same top 3 with Charles Leclerc winning his fourth championship with Lando Norris in P2 and Valtteri Bottas in P3. So this is the standings after the first 10 seasons. Moving on to season 11. This was a simulation where I added Tesla to F1 22, so Charles Leclerc won his fifth championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and Lewis Hamilton in P3. Season 12, George Russell won his first championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and Charles Leclerc again in P3. Season 13, Max Verstappen won his fourth championship with George Russell in P2 and Charles Leclerc in P3. Season 14, Charles Leclerc won his sixth championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. Season 15, Charles Leclerc won his seventh championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Going to season 16, Max Verstappen won his fifth championship with George Russell in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. Season 17, Charles Leclerc won championship number 8 with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Now season 18, Charles Leclerc won another championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 19, Charles Leclerc won his 10th championship with Fernando Alonso in P2 and George Russell in P3. Going to season 20 with the oldest world champion for the simulation, the 51-year-old Fernando Alonso won a world championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and George Russell in P3. This is the standings after the first 20 seasons. Now going to season 21. This is the simulation where I added Audi to F1 22. The season 21 was won by Charles Leclerc with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 22, we had the same top 3 with Charles Leclerc winning his 12th championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 23, George Russell won his second championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Max Verstappen in P3. Now going to season 24, Nico Hülkenberg won his first championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and Charles Leclerc in P3. Season 25, Mick Schumacher won his first championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Nico Hülkenberg in P3. If you haven't already, be sure to subscribe. It will only take a second and you can always unsubscribe later. It helps me out a lot. Going on to season 26, Charles Leclerc won another championship with Lando Norris in P2 and Max Verstappen in P3. Going to season 27, Charles Leclerc got P1 with Max Verstappen in P2 and Pierre Gasly in P3. Season 28, Max Verstappen won his sixth championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Pierre Gasly in P3. Season 29, Charles Leclerc won his 15th championship with Pierre Gasly in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. And now season 30, Charles Leclerc won another championship with Pierre Gasly in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. This is the standing so far. It's clear that Charles Leclerc is dominating. Season 31, this is where I added Honda to F1 22. Max Verstappen won his 7th championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 32, Charles Leclerc then won his 17th championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 33, Charles Leclerc won another championship with George Russell in P2 and Max Verstappen in P3. I think by this point we can all agree that Charles Leclerc is a bit OP in F1 22 and I'm saying this even though he's my favorite driver. Season 34, Charles Leclerc got P1 with George Russell in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. Season 35, Charles Leclerc won his 20th championship with Lando Norris in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 36, Max Verstappen won his 8th championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. Season 37, Max Verstappen won another championship with Carlos Sainz in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. Season 38, Lando Norris won another championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and Romain Grosjean in P3. In Season 39, George Russell won his 3rd championship with Romain Grosjean in P2 and Yuki Tsunoda in P3. In Season 40, Lando Norris won his 4th championship with George Russell in P2 and Romain Grosjean in P3. This is the standing so far. Now season 41, this is the simulation where I added BMW to F1 22. Max Verstappen won his 10th championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 42, George Russell won his 4th championship with Lewis Hamilton in P2 and Charles Leclerc in P3. Season 43, Charles Leclerc wins his 21st championship with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 44, Max Verstappen won another championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Nico Rosberg in P3. Going to season 45, Nico Rosberg won his first championship for the simulation with Max Verstappen in P2 and George Russell in P3. Going to season 46, Charles Leclerc won his 22nd championship and his last one for this 50 seasons with Nico Rosberg in P2 and George Russell in P3. Season 47, Max Verstappen won his 12th championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Carlos Sainz in P3. Season 48, Max Verstappen won his 12th championship with Lando Norris in P2 and Nico Rosberg in P3. Season 49, George Russell won his 5th championship with Charles Leclerc in P2 and Kevin Magnussen in P3. Now going to the last season, season 50, Lando Norris won championship number 5 with Nico Rosberg in P2 and Max Verstappen in P3. As you can see, in the end, Charles Leclerc got P1 with Max Verstappen in P2 and Lando Norris in P3. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.